Hi, I'm SargoDevel. Welcome to my channel. This is a series of videos about Cables Workbench for FreeCAD. In the last episode, I showed you how to install the workbench. Today, I will present the WireFlex object, which is the key component in the entire toolset. The WireFlex is used as the base wire for all cable objects, so knowledge of it is crucial for efficient cable creation. The WireFlex is based on Polyline object from Draft Workbench, so it has some similarities to Polyline, but also it has some differences and advanced features. First difference is the method of creation the WireFlex object. Let's go to the Draft Workbench first and create the Polyline. I will make something like this. The shape can be anything, but this one will be helpful later on. Let's come back to cables. The creation of WireFlex is different. There are three available methods. The first method is to run the command when nothing is selected. We can see the warning that nothing was selected and the default WireFlex was created. Let's hide it. This way we made the default object, which is the single line with the default length. This object can be modified or moved after creation. For example, we can move it like this. I will show later how it can be modified. The second method of creation involves selecting already existing vertices. We can select them holding the Ctrl key and then run the command. We have the WireFlex attached to the selected vertices. The third method creates the WireFlex, which has the copy of all points taken from selected object. It's enough to select a vertex or edge of an existing object and run the command. We see that the copy of Polyline has been created. It overlaps the Polyline, but it's not attached to it, so we can move our WireFlex. As we can see, only the second method creates the attached wire. It has different colors of vertices, which indicates that they are attached. When I move the Polyline, the WireFlex travels with it. The vertices of WireFlex are by default bigger than those of Polyline, so that their state can be easily observed. The attached vertices have borders in a lighter color. These colors can be changed in the view properties of each WireFlex. Okay, let's change the colors of attached WireFlex. We can make the mainline color, for example, yellow. The point color change to blue. The attached vertex color, for example, to red. And we also can change the point size. We can make it bigger or smaller. Okay, I will delete the modified wire and create a new one. I select vertices with the Ctrl key and run WireFlex command. And we have new WireFlex attached. Let's try now to edit our wire. As many other things in FreeCAD, we can do it in different ways. One method is to use the edit mode. When I put the pointer over the edit command, I can read the help message. While in edit mode, the context menu appears after pressing letter E or Alt left click or Alt left double click, depending on system you are using. So let's try. The wire has to be selected first, and then I press the Edit button. The Edit mode is indicated by the Close button presence in the task area and changed color of vertices. Now we can simply click the vertex and put it elsewhere, and click again. We can do the same with the second vertex. We can also add additional vertex just by putting the pointer over the edge and pressing letter E. Then select Add Point. We are not limited to the flat surface. Let's change the view a bit. We can drag the vertex in different directions at X, Y, or Z. I click on the vertex, press Z, and drag up or down. On the left we have locked X and Y directions. If I press Z again, I will unlock all directions. I press Z again. I can also type any value. Let's type 50 and press Enter. The vertex is 50 mm above the base surface. We can also delete the vertex. I put the pointer over the vertex, press E and select Delete Point. When I press Close, I exit the Edit mode. I can enter it again by selecting the Edit icon and yes, or by double-click the wire. In the Edit mode we have some nice additional commands. These are Make Edge Horizontal, Vertical or Coaxial. I will show them on examples. Let's add two vertices first. Press E, then Add Point, and again E and Add Point. I will pull them back a bit. First here, second there. Now I will change the edge, but only the vertex to which I place the pointer closer will be moved accordingly. First left part, press E, then Make Edge Coaxial, and we see the left part has moved. Let's go back. Then the right part, press E, then Make Edge Coaxial, and we see that right part has moved. Now let's make this edge vertical. Press E, then Make Edge Vertical. It has been moved up with a default length. The next edge will be horizontal. Press E, then Make Edge Horizontal. This is the result. We can exit the Edit mode for now. Another method for quick WireFlex editing is to use commands directly from the toolbar. For example, we can quickly add or remove wire vertices. Let's select an edge and click Add Vertex. The new vertex appeared in the middle of the selected edge. When I select the vertex and press Delete Vertex, it is deleted. Each command has its own keyboard shortcut. For example, WD deletes vertex. We can use it to delete more vertices. Select vertex and press WD. It disappeared. We can also directly edit coordinates of the vertices in the table from Points property. The point number in the table corresponds to vertex number selected in 3D view. When I select the vertex, its number is visible at the bottom line here. Click the 3 dots, then the table. Here we have 3 points. All the coordinates are relative to the base placement of the wire. Let's change the Z value of the vertex to 0. Then refresh, and the result is visible here. This method can be used to precisely change the placement of any vertex. The very good helper during wire editing is the set of snap tools from Draft Workbench. We can choose some of them and enable or disable by snap lock. The same toolset is available as a widget at the bottom line. Just click and hold on the lock, then select which snap to enable or disable. This widget can be imported to Cables Workbench. Right-click at the bottom and select Draft Snap widget. It can be used directly from here. For example, I select Snap Midpoint and enter the edit mode by double-click on the wire. Here I drag the vertex close to the polyline. When the midpoint appears, I place the vertex there. Next topic, WireFlex attachments. The ability to attach vertices is the most interesting feature of the WireFlex objects. Let's create first simple draft line. Any single vertex of WireFlex can be attached to any external vertex or object. This can be done independently of the main WireFlex attachment. Select the vertex of the WireFlex, then holding the Ctrl key, select the external vertex and click Command Attach Vertex. The vertex jumps to the attachment and changes its color. When I move the draft line, the attached vertex moves with it. Let's make more practical example. I will quickly create simple wall on which I will later run the WireFlex. Let's change some wall dimensions and make it transparent for better visibility of other objects. As a hooks for WireFlex, I will use 3 support lines. Left-click on the wall first, then create support line. It will be placed at the desired point on the wall. Once I have my support lines, I click them holding Ctrl key and create new WireFlex. Let's hide the wall for a while. Then I make some small adjustments of support lines to make proper vertical and horizontal alignment of a wire. Now, for example, the wire can be moved right by selecting 2 support lines and moving them in the X direction. Since the wire is lying on the surface of the wall, we can move it inward, for example by 20 mm. To do this, I select all support lines and move them 20 mm in the Y direction. Now the WireFlex is placed inside the wall. The next steps here could be making a cable out of wire, adding cable boxes and connectors. I will show you all of this in the next episodes. Stay tuned! I invite you to watch the next videos of this series. If you liked this video and if you are satisfied with using Cables Workbench, you can support me through my Ko-fi page, ko-fi.com/sargodevil, ko-fi.com/sargodevil. Your support will help me continue developing this tool. Thank you.